The veil drops. The Galactic Council's chamber fell silent as Ambassador Elena Chen stepped onto the speaking platform. Her simple gray uniform stood in stark contrast to the ornate biomechanical suits and crystalline forms of the alien representatives surrounding her. For 50 years, humanity had maintained their careful facade of being technological newcomers to the galactic stage. Today, that mask would fall. "Honorable representatives," Elena began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment, "I come before you not as a supplicant, but as a herald of truth. The nomad swarm approaches our sector, and humanity can no longer maintain its necessary deception." The chamber's holographic displays flickered to life, showing real-time footage from the edge of human space. Massive vessels of impossible darkness emerged from what appeared to be tears in reality itself. These were humanity's true fleet, ships powered by dark matter technology that had been hidden from the galaxy for half a century. First Speaker Ixtal, their crystalline form shimmering with agitation, rose from their position. "What is the meaning of this? These vessels, their energy signatures are beyond anything in our records." "Indeed," Elena replied, allowing herself a small smile. "While we showed you our fusion drives and ion cannons, we were perfecting dark matter manipulation. While you watched our primitive attempts at FTL travel, we were mastering the ability to fold space itself." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices and electromagnetic communications. Some representatives demanded immediate sanctions, others called for humanity's expulsion from the Council, but all fell silent when the main display shifted to show the approaching threat. The Nomad Swarm, a virtually unstoppable force that had already consumed 3 galaxies. Admiral James Morrison appeared beside Elena in holographic form, his weathered face grave. "The swarm will reach Council space in less than 30 standard days. Their biomechanical technology is unlike anything you've encountered. They don't just destroy civilizations, they consume them, breaking down all matter and energy to fuel their endless expansion. And you believe your hidden fleet can stop them?" The question came from Ambassador Vrina of the Centauri Collective, her bioluminescent patterns displaying skepticism. "No," Morrison replied honestly, "not alone. But with the Council's cooperation and the integration of our dark matter technology with your civilization's unique capabilities, we might stand a chance." Elena gestured, and the holographic display shifted again, showing detailed schematics of human dark matter technology. "We've spent 50 years not just developing this technology, but specifically engineering it to be compatible with the various technological bases of Council species. The Arxian crystal matrices, Centauri biotech, even the quantum probability drives of the VETH. All can be enhanced and empowered by dark matter integration." The chamber's atmosphere shifted from outrage to cautious interest as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't just been hiding. They'd been preparing, creating a technological foundation that could unite the galaxy's disparate species against an overwhelming threat. First Speaker Ixtal's crystalline form pulsed with complex patterns of light, their species equivalent of deep thought. "You risked everything by concealing this technology. The Council's laws regarding technological disclosure exist for a reason. Why should we trust you now?" Elena's response was interrupted by new alerts flashing across the chamber's displays. The Nomad Swarm had accelerated, their vast biomechanical forms casting shadows across entire star systems. They would arrive in just 15 days. "Because," Elena said softly, "we're your only choice. The swarm has never encountered dark matter technology. They can't adapt to what they can't detect, and they can't detect what exists partially outside normal spacetime." Morrison's hologram expanded, showing tactical displays of humanity's dark matter fleet moving into defensive positions. The ships seemed to flicker in and out of existence, leaving trails of impossible darkness in their wake. "We're not asking for forgiveness for our deception. We're offering you the means to survive what's coming. The question is, will ancient laws and wounded pride be more important than the survival of all our species?" The chamber erupted in debate once more, But now the tone was different. The representatives began to realize that humanity's deception might have given them all a fighting chance against an enemy that had never known defeat. As the council argued, humanity's dark matter fleet continued its deployment. The massive ships, each a testament to human ingenuity and determination, moved through space like living shadows. Their crews, trained in absolute secrecy for generations, prepared for the greatest revelation in human history, and perhaps its greatest test. The time for hiding was over. The time for unity had begun. Shadow of the Stars. Captain Sarah Reeves stood on the bridge of the DMV Shadow Weaver, watching as her crew made final preparations for humanity's first true test against the Nomad Swarm. The dark matter drive hummed at frequencies beyond normal human hearing, but she could feel it in her bones, a reminder that her ship existed partially outside conventional spacetime. "All systems nominal," reported Lieutenant Commander Marcus Chen from his station. "Dark matter containment at optimal levels. The fleet is signaling ready." Through the bridge's quantum blast viewport, Sarah could see the rest of humanity's revealed fleet. 300 ships of impossible darkness, their hulls seeming to absorb not just light, but reality itself. They represented the true pinnacle of human achievement. Vessels that could slit between the very fabric of spacetime, weapons that could harness the mysterious force that held the universe together. Multiple contacts. The sensor officer's voice cut through the tension. Nomad Swarm vessels entering detection range. Energy signatures are massive. The enemy appeared on their screens, vast biomechanical constructs that defied conventional physics. Each swarm ship was the size of a small moon, their surfaces writhing with organic technology that consumed everything in their path. Behind them, stars dimmed as their energy-draining fields stretched across space. Admiral Morrison's voice echoed through the fleet-wide comm. "All vessels, execute Operation Dark Tide. Remember your training. Everything we've prepared for comes down to this moment." Sarah took a deep breath. Tactical, bring dark matter systems to full power. Navigation, plot our phase shift course through their front line. Let's show them what humanity has been hiding. The Shadow Weaver moved first, its dark matter drive engaging fully. To an outside observer, the ship seemed to dissolve into streams of living darkness. They weren't just moving through space, they were moving through the underlying structure of reality itself. The Nomad Swarm reacted instantly, their biomechanical ships launching waves of energy-draining attacks. But their weapons passed harmlessly through the human vessels, unable to affect ships that existed partially outside normal spacetime. "First volley, fire," Sarah commanded. The Shadow Weaver's main weapons activated. Dark matter lances that didn't so much fire as tear holes in reality itself. Where they struck, portions of the massive swarm ships simply ceased to exist, their matter and energy scattered across multiple dimensions. But the swarm was not so easily defeated. Their ships began to adapt, their organic technology evolving in real time. New appendages grew from their hulls, attempting to analyze and counter the dark matter attacks. "They're learning," Marcus reported, his fingers dancing across his console. "Energy signatures indicate they're trying to replicate our technology." Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. "Let them try. You can't replicate what you can't understand. All ships, execute attack pattern Omega-7. The human fleet moved as one, their formations impossible to predict as ships phased in and out of normal space. Dark matter weapons struck from multiple dimensions simultaneously, while specialized ships created zones of altered physics that trapped and confused the swarm's biological sensors. The battle raged across the star system, a dance of shadow and light as humanity revealed the full extent of their technological mastery. The swarm's overwhelming numbers meant little against ships that could simply choose to exist elsewhere when threatened. But victory wouldn't come easily. Several human ships were caught by the swarm's rapidly evolving countermeasures, their dark matter drives temporarily disrupted. The organic tendrils of the massive bioships began to show signs of dark matter manipulation, crude but effective. Admiral, Sarah called over the secure channel. They're adapting faster than our simulations predicted. We need to shift to Phase 2 before they develop effective counters. Morrison's response was immediate. Agreed. All ships, prepare for synchronized dark matter burst. Operation Nightfall is now in effect. Sarah turned to her crew. This is what we've trained for. All hands, prepare for full dimensional shift. We're about to show them why humanity kept this technology hidden for so long. Throughout the fleet, dark matter drives spooled up to previously unused levels. The very fabric of space-time began to tremble as hundreds of ships prepared to unleash their full potential. The true battle for the galaxy's survival was about to begin, and humanity's greatest secret would become its greatest weapon. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as humanity prepared to unleash the full power of their dark matter technology. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had spent 50 years preparing in secret, and why the darkness between the stars had always been their true domain. Ripples in the void. The Galactic Council's emergency session stretched into its third day as representatives grappled with the implications of humanity's revelation. The massive holographic displays showed continuous footage of the battle against the Nomad Swarm, where human dark matter ships danced through reality itself to hold the line. Ambassador Elena Chen stood calmly at the center of the chamber, facing the barrage of questions and accusations from all sides. The Archean representatives' crystalline form pulsed with agitation as they spoke. Your species has fundamentally altered the balance of power in this galaxy, they declared. How can we trust that humanity won't use this technology against the Council once the Swarm is defeated? Before Elena could respond, Ambassador Vrina of the Centauri Collective rose, her bioluminescent patterns flashing with urgency. We waste time with accusations while the Swarm advances. The human fleet bought us precious days, but our long-range sensors show the enemy is adapting. They're learning to track dark matter signatures. The chamber's main display shifted to show new tactical data. The Swarm's massive bioships were evolving, developing structures that seemed to ripple with dark energy. They weren't just adapting. They were transforming themselves into something new. This is precisely why we need to act now, Elena said, her voice cutting through the chaos. Humanity didn't spend 50 years developing dark matter technology in isolation. We studied every species in the Council, understanding how our technology could be integrated with yours. The Archean crystal matrices could amplify dark matter fields. Centauri biotech could help stabilize dimensional shifts. Even the Veth's quantum probability drives could enhance our phase-shifting capabilities. The chamber erupted in murmurs as classified technical data appeared on the displays. Detailed schematics showing how human dark matter technology could interface with each species' unique technological base. You spied on us all, accused the Veth representative, their probability field flickering with indignation. We studied you, Elena corrected, and we prepared for this moment. The Nomad Swarm isn't just another enemy. They represent entropy itself, the death of all organized matter in the galaxy. We need each other to survive. A new alert flashed across the tactical displays. Admiral Morrison's hologram appeared, his expression grave. The Swarm has begun implementing their adaptations. They've developed some form of biomechanical dark matter detection system. Our stealth advantage is diminishing. The chamber fell silent as footage showed a human dark matter ship being caught by newly evolved Swarm tendrils. The vessel's dimensional shifting faltered as organic technology, infused with dark energy, began to pull it back into normal space. We don't have time for politics, Elena declared. Humanity is offering you full access to our dark matter technology, not as subordinates, not as supplicants, but as equals. Every moment we waste in debate is a moment the Swarm uses to adapt. Ambassador Vrina's bioluminescence shifted to decisive patterns. The Centauri Collective votes for immediate technological integration. Our bioships stand ready. One by one, other representatives began to signal their agreement. The Archeans offered their crystal forge worlds for immediate retrofitting. The Veth proposed connecting their quantum probability networks to human dark matter systems. But unity wouldn't come easily. Several species, led by the militant Kresh Dominion, refused to participate. Their representative scales bristled as they spoke. "We will not bind our fate to species who have proven themselves deceitful. The Dominion will face this threat on its own terms." Elena watched them leave with resignation. She knew humanity's deception would have consequences, but the greater threat had to take precedence. Already, technical teams from a dozen species were exchanging data, beginning the complex process of integrating their technologies. In orbit around humanity's fortress world of Titan, the first joint operation was already underway. Captain Sarah Reeves watched from the Shadow Weaver's bridge as Centauri bioships merged with human dark matter technology. The organic vessels seemed to drink in the darkness, their living hulls adapting to exist in multiple dimensions. "Beautiful, isn't it?" came Admiral Morrison's voice from behind her. "This is what we worked for all those years. Not just survival, but true cooperation." Sarah nodded, but her attention was on the long-range sensors. The swarm was regrouping, their adapted ships moving with new purpose. The next battle would be different. They would face an enemy that understood dark matter technology, or at least their own twisted version of it. "How long until the integrated fleet is ready?" she asked. "Hours, not days. The Centauri adaptation rate exceeded our best projections. The Arctians are already installing dark matter amplifiers in their crystal ships." Morrison paused, studying the tactical display. "It won't be enough, will it?" "No," Sarah agreed. "But it's not supposed to be. This was never about winning with superior technology alone. It's about what comes next." Morrison raised an eyebrow. "Operation Eternal Night." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Humanity's final secret. The one thing we never shared with the Council. The true purpose of dark matter technology." The stars seemed to flicker as the integrated fleet began to take shape. The galaxy's greatest civilizations were finally uniting, bringing their technologies together in ways never before imagined. But humanity's greatest revelation was still to come, and the true nature of dark matter technology was about to change everything. Dark matter dawn. The integrated fleet hung in space like a constellation of living shadows. Centauri bioships pulsed with dark matter energy, their organic hulls shifting between dimensions. Archean crystal vessels refracted darkness itself, their modified matrices amplifying the power of human technology. Even the probability-bending ships of the Veth had been transformed, their quantum fields now rippling with dark energy. Captain Sarah Reeves stood on the Shadow Weaver's bridge, watching the final preparations for Operation Eternal Night. The combined fleet represented the largest gathering of ships in galactic history. Over 1,000 vessels from 24 species, all modified with human dark matter technology. "The swarm has crossed the Helios boundary," reported Marcus. "Their biomechanical adaptations have stabilized. They're using dark matter now, Captain. Not like us, but effectively." Sarah nodded grimly. The tactical displays showed the enemy's evolution. The swarm ships had become something new. Massive constructs of organic technology infused with dark energy. They no longer just consumed matter, they consumed reality itself. Admiral Morrison's hologram appeared on the bridge. "All ships, this is the moment we've prepared for. The Council fleet is in position. Captain Reeves, you may begin the final phase." Sarah took a deep breath. "Send the signal to all ships. Initiate dark matter core synchronization." Throughout the fleet, dark matter drives began to pulse in perfect harmony. The space between ships seemed to thicken, reality itself becoming malleable as thousands of dark matter cores reached out to each other. "Synchronization at 60%, Marcus reported. "The Centauri bioships are adapting faster than expected. Archean crystal matrices are amplifying the field exponentially." On the tactical display, the swarm approached like a tide of nightmare. Their adapted ships now moved through multiple dimensions at once, organic tendrils reaching through space-time itself to grab and consume anything in their path. Synchronization at 85%. Marcus continued. The Veth probability field is stabilizing the network. Dark matter resonance approaching critical threshold. Sarah opened a channel to the entire fleet. All ships, prepare for dimensional shift. What you're about to experience is the true purpose of dark matter technology. This isn't just about moving through space-time. It's about changing the rules of reality itself. The swarm struck first. Massive bioships phased into existence around the fleet, their dark matter-infused weapons tearing holes in conventional space. Several Allied ships were caught in the attack, their hulls being consumed by organic technology that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Synchronization complete, Marcus announced. Dark matter network is stable. All ships reporting ready. Sarah's voice was steady as she gave the command they had waited 50 years to give. Execute Operation Eternal Night. All ships, activate dark matter reality engines. The effect was immediate and impossible. The combined power of 1,000 dark matter cores, amplified by alien technology and synchronized through quantum probability fields, began to rewrite the laws of physics in an expanding sphere around the fleet. By all the stars, whispered Ambassador Vrina through the comm. What have you done? The space around the fleet had become something else, a region where humanity's understanding of dark matter allowed them to literally dictate the rules of reality. Within this sphere, the swarm's adapted weapons found themselves bound by laws of physics that no longer supported their existence. This, Sarah explained as she watched the swarm ships begin to fail, is why we hid our technology. Dark matter isn't just an energy source or a means of propulsion. It's the framework upon which reality itself is built, and we learned to rewrite that framework. The swarm fought back with increasing desperation. Their bioships tried to adapt, but found themselves trying to evolve in a space where the fundamental constants of the universe were being actively rewritten. Organic technology that relied on consuming energy found itself in a region where energy behaved according to human-defined rules. All ships, advance, Sarah commanded. Push the boundary forward. Let's show them what happens when they face a united galaxy. The fleet moved as one, their synchronized dark matter cores expanding the sphere of altered reality. Where they passed, the swarm's adapted ships found themselves unable to maintain their existence in dimensions that no longer followed their understood laws of physics. But victory wouldn't come easily. The swarm was vast, and their ability to adapt was unprecedented. Even as their ships failed within the altered space, new variations began to appear at the edges of the battle. Bioships that seemed to be learning from each failure, evolving toward something that could survive even in humanity's rewritten reality. They're adapting again, Marcus reported. The outer elements of the swarm are developing some kind of reality anchor. They're trying to stabilize conventional space-time against our alterations. Sarah exchanged glances with Morrison's hologram. They had expected this, had planned for it. The Admiral nodded, giving silent permission for the final phase. All ships, Sarah announced, prepare for total dimensional shift. We're about to show them why humanity spent 50 years studying the darkness between stars. Initiative Phase Omega. The true power of dark matter technology. The battle for reality itself was about to enter its final stage, and the galaxy was about to witness the full extent of humanity's mastery over the forces that shaped existence itself. Beyond the light, the massive screens in the Galactic Council chamber showed something that had never been witnessed in the history of the galaxy, reality itself being rewritten on a scale that defied comprehension. The combined fleet's dark matter cores pulsed in perfect synchronization, creating an expanding sphere of altered spacetime that consumed everything in its path. Ambassador Elena Chen stood among the stunned representatives, watching as humanity's final secret changed the course of history. What you're seeing, she explained, is the culmination of 50 years of research. We didn't just learn to manipulate dark matter. We learned to use it to redefine the fundamental constants of the universe itself. The swarm's massive bioships struggled against the advancing wall of altered reality. Their adapted dark matter technology, powerful as it was, found itself operating in a space where the basic laws of physics no longer supported their existence. But they were adapting, evolving, trying to find a way to survive in this new paradigm. Aboard the Shadow Weaver, Captain Sarah Reeves watched the tactical displays with intense focus. "Status of the Reality Anchor Network?" she asked. "Holding stable," Marcus replied. "The Archean crystal matrices are performing beyond specifications. Dark matter field coherence at 98% and climbing." The combined fleet moved as one, their synchronized cores expanding the sphere of altered spacetime. Within this bubble of rewritten reality, the swarm's ability to consume matter and energy meant nothing. They were trying to feed on a universe that no longer followed their rules. But the enemy's adaptation was accelerating. At the edges of the altered space, new forms of swarm ships were emerging, biomechanical monstrosities that seemed to exist in a state of quantum flux, trying to bridge the gap between conventional reality and humanity's rewritten laws of physics. "They're learning," Admiral Morrison's hologram noted grimly. "Faster than we anticipated. We need to initiate the final phase before they develop complete immunity." Sarah nodded, opening a channel to the entire fleet. "All ships, prepare for dimensional convergence. This is what we've trained for, the true purpose of Operation Eternal Night." Throughout the fleet, dark matter cores began to pulse with new patterns. The Centauri bioships' organic hulls rippled with impossible energy. The Archean crystal vessels refracted darkness itself in ways that defied conventional physics. The Veth probability ships created quantum fluctuations that bridged multiple dimensions simultaneously. "What we're about to attempt," Sarah explained to the fleet, "is not just the rewriting of local spacetime. We're going to create a permanent alteration in the fundamental structure of reality in this sector of space. A change so profound that the swarm's very method of existence will become impossible." The enemy sensed the building power. Their adapted ships launched a massive counterattack, organic tendrils infused with dark energy reaching across dimensions to try to disrupt the fleet's synchronization. Several Allied ships were caught in the assault, their hulls being torn apart across multiple planes of existence. But the synchronized network held. The combined power of 1,000 dark matter cores, amplified by alien technology and stabilized by quantum probability fields, reached a critical threshold. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath as humanity prepared to unveil the true extent of their mastery over the forces that shaped existence. "All ships," Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "initiate final dimensional convergence. Rewrite Protocol Alpha Omega." The effect was beyond anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. The sphere of altered reality collapsed inward, but as it did, it left behind something new, a fundamental change in the underlying structure of spacetime itself. Within this altered region of space, the very constants that governed the universe had been permanently rewritten. The swarm's bioships, even their newly adapted forms, found themselves trying to exist in a universe that no longer supported their basic method of operation. Their ability to consume matter and energy, to adapt and evolve, meant nothing in a space where the laws of physics had been fundamentally altered to deny them purchase on reality itself. In the council chamber, the representatives watched in awe as the swarm fleet began to dissolve, their impossible forms unable to maintain coherence in the altered space. But this wasn't destruction, it was transformation. The matter and energy that composed their massive ships was being converted, reformed according to the new laws of physics humanity had written into the fabric of reality. "What happens now?" Ambassador Vrina asked softly, her bioluminescence patterns showing complex emotions. "You've changed the fundamental nature of space itself." Elena smiled. "Now we rebuild. The altered space we've created isn't just a weapon against the swarm. It's a blueprint for a new kind of civilization. One where all our species can truly work together, using dark matter technology to shape reality itself according to our combined vision." The battle was over, but its implications were just beginning to be understood. Humanity had not just saved the galaxy, they had transformed it. The dark matter technology they had hidden for so long would now become the foundation for a new era of cooperation and advancement. In the newly altered space, the combined fleet regrouped, their ships now existing in a reality of humanity's making. But this was not the end. It was a beginning. The galaxy had been changed forever, and the true age of dark matter technology was about to dawn. Captain Sarah Reeves stood on her bridge, watching the stars shine differently in this new reality they had created. The price of victory had been high, but the future it promised was beyond anything they could have imagined. Humanity had kept its greatest secret, not out of fear or mistrust, but because they had been waiting for the right moment to share it with a galaxy truly ready to unite. The darkness between the stars had always been humanity's true domain. Now it would become the foundation for a new age of exploration, cooperation, and discovery. An age where the very fabric of reality itself was humanity's canvas, and the combined creativity of a united galaxy would paint upon it.